Hey everybody, I'm Summer Inanen.
Hey, I'm Sarah Ramsden and we are nutritionists answering your questions.
Yay! So in today's episode we have a question from Clarissa in Toronto, and she asks us, is coffee bad for you? So I'm a coffee lover, and I used to actually have an unhealthy relationship with it, so I can definitely speak to this question. Fun fact, Sarah does not drink coffee.
I can't stand coffee. I never have.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm a freak. I'm English.
No, she's British, that's all.
Can't help it.
So, it's
Moving on.
Yeah, it's not really a black and white answer. I mean, we are always reading about things in the media that suggest that coffee is good for us. So whether it's that it helps to reduce the risk of heart disease or it helps to prevent Alzheimer's, there's definitely some evidence showing that some coffee consumption can be healthy for us. However, it really is dependent on the individual.
Yeah, and you really have to look at it in the context of your life as a whole, because the way society is today is that we're go, go, go all the time. Work, you know, you're under a lot of pressure, you got to pay the mortgage, you got to take the kids to soccer and hockey and all that stuff. And you're on the go and stressed out all the time. Now, unfortunately, if you're in that state and you consume coffee as well, it has its impact on our stress response, and it only serves to make things worse. So how this happens is that we have these glands in our body called the adrenal glands, and they help our bodies deal with stress. And so when we are racing out the door when we're late to get the kids to soccer, what happens is that they are pumping out cortisol and other stress hormones to really kind of help us deal with the stress in that situation. Now, when we consume coffee, the same thing happens. The body sees it as a stressor, just like it does with tobacco and often alcohol. And so if you're already at this kind of high level chronic kind of stress in your life, you add coffee on and it's only going to make things worse. And what this happens is that it puts you on a blood sugar roller coaster. You often might crash at 3 p.m. or at 11 in the morning, and that's when you are craving your coffee or something sweet.
Yeah, and so that blood sugar reaction in the long term can promote insulin resistance as well as accumulation of fat. And the other thing that can happen is that stress on your adrenal glands, if that's happening day in and day out, then that can lead to something called adrenal fatigue, where your body stops being able to respond properly to the actual stress in your life. Yeah. And that can lead to a whole host of issues like depression or digestive problems, hormonal imbalances, not being able to lose weight, as well as just feeling overall lousy. So in the context of somebody who is kind of overworked, underpaid, go, 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 you know, coffee is probably not the healthiest thing for them to be consuming. But with someone who's relaxed and chill and gets, 8 hours of sleep every night, then having coffee can be a healthy addition to their life. So the question is, how do you know if coffee is negatively affecting you? Well, first of all, you might have poor quality sleep, or you're not sleeping enough. That's definitely one sign. Maybe you feel like you could run a marathon after you have a cup of coffee, and you feel like you could climb the ceiling. That's generally an unhealthy response to the caffeine. You don't feel normal unless you have your coffee. And the thought of you going without it is about as appealing as having your whole body waxed.
And if you get up in the morning and the first thing you have to do is have a cup of coffee, you can't speak to significant other, you're like a raging nightmare bitch. Until you have your coffee, you need to give it up.
Yeah. And one of the other things I noticed is that people who can't drink their coffee black, usually they don't actually like coffee. They like the kick that they're getting from the coffee, or they're drinking a poor quality brand.
So make sure you have a good one. We have a good one right here that we really like, actually. It's Kicking Horse. It's a fabulous Canadian brand, but you have to speak to it because obviously I don't drink coffee.
Yeah, so we love Kicking Horse coffee. It's fair trade, organic, and the beans are roasted in Canada. Yeah. But we also really love the decaf. This is the decaf.
Which is this one, yep.
Because most decaffeinated coffees are treated with chemicals. The chemicals methylene chloride and ethyl acetate, which add harmful components to the actual coffee. But Kicking Horse uses a Swiss water process that's devoid of chemicals in order to strip away the caffeine, and it eliminates 99% of the caffeine. The other thing that you want to do when you're drinking, if you do enjoy coffee and you can enjoy it in a healthy way, is that you want to limit yourself to 1 to 2 cups and always have them before noon. And when we say cups, we mean like a normal mug.
Not your Starbucks, whatever size it is. I don't even speak Starbucks, so.
The venti, you know, not like one of those gigantor mugs that you see people carrying around. So yeah, definitely 1 to 2 cups before noon so it doesn't disturb your sleep. And in addition to that, things like espresso actually have less caffeine than coffee. So having an Americano might be a little bit more beneficial. And also try changing it up. So maybe have, you know, half decaf or have decaf entirely once in a while, or having green or white tea, which is much lower in caffeine.
Tea!
Yeah, but if you feel like you're one of those people that it is negatively affecting you, we highly recommend cutting it out for 30 days and giving yourself a caffeine detox, and not even including things like green tea or white tea or decaf, because they still have traces of caffeine in them.
Yeah.
Clear your system out. You're going to feel like you're walking underwater for a while, but you will start to feel a lot better afterwards, and your tolerance will also be a lot more sensitive to the caffeine when you reintroduce it. So yeah, that's pretty much the answer to Clarissa's question.
Yeah, sorry if it's a downer, guys.
So if you have questions for us, we want to hear from you. Email them to asksummerandsarah@gmail.com. And we also want to hear from you right now. So
in the comments, let us know down below whether you think you might have a problem with caffeine. Are you going to give it up for 30 days? And we also want you to send this video on to anyone who you think might have a problem.
Yes, share it around. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see ya.